What if certain moments held more power than others? A specific time that acted like an open door for your desires to be made real? What if speaking certain words at a particular hour could unlock a rapid response in your reality? Today, we're going to explore how, drawing from the teachings of Neville Goddard, that speaking specific words at 3:33 a.m. isn't just a practice. It's a gateway to a more direct, rapid manifestation, but not simply because you are saying words. Rather, it's the feeling behind them and the inner alignment they create that unlocks the door to the rapid transformation. This isn't about asking an external God. It's about understanding that the power lies within you and that your feeling and inner state hold the keys to your reality. This isn't just about another manifestation technique. This is about understanding the fundamental principles that govern reality, starting with the understanding that what you feel within, you then experience without, and that this practice goes beyond simple positive thinking, diving into the depths of Neville's law of assumption. The feeling behind the words, not just the words themselves, is the key to rapid change. This practice has the potential to radically transform not just what you attract, but your entire sense of self, connecting you with your own infinite potential, showing you how you are not just a receiver, but a creator. This isn't just about attracting more abundance or better health. It's about understanding the very core of who you are and what you're capable of, shifting from a sense of being a passive receiver to an active participant in the creation of your reality. The knowledge that we will explore is not widely known nor practiced. It's an ancient wisdom that's been hidden in plain sight, and this specific technique is not just some new age trend, but a way to tap into your very own creative power. The underlying principles have been studied for millennia, and they are based on specific mechanisms that are waiting to be explored. This method isn't about some distant God magically answering your prayers, but about how you are the very source of your reality, using your consciousness as the tool of creation. It's about stepping into your own role as the master of your fate, and that's a very specific power we can learn to harness with consistency and clear understanding. To understand why 3:33 a.m. is so powerful, we must first delve into the significance of the number 3, which represents creation, expansion, and the divine trinity, hinting that there is a deeper meaning than just a random number. These numbers are not arbitrary. They hold keys to understanding the mechanics of the universe and your role within it. You might have noticed that it's not just the number 3, but often 33, and sometimes even 333, all of which will be touched on, and which signal the idea of the time being a doorway or a portal to deeper connection with your own subconscious. This specific time is also tied into a unique state of consciousness called the state akin to sleep, the liminal state between waking and dreaming, which provides an ideal gateway to reprogramming the subconscious mind, and therefore your outer reality. It's crucial to understand that Neville taught that manifestation isn't about wishing for things, but it's about embodying the feeling of already having them. It's living in the end, so that what is imagined becomes your reality, and that these words and this time can act as a catalyst to make that process even faster. The potency of the words is tied into the feeling and belief behind them, not in the words themselves, because you are not begging an external God. You are commanding your reality through your own inner state and alignment, and it's in that internal shift that you will find the answers you seek. This begs the question, why this time? Why these specific words? And why does it seem like your desires are so much more accessible at 3:33 a.m.? What if it wasn't God, but you that is the source of the response? The rapid response isn't divine magic. It's the logical outcome of aligning your inner self with your desired reality. The mechanism is built into the fabric of existence, and you can learn to harness it consciously. We are not at the mercy of some external force. We hold the power within ourselves, and by understanding how to tap into it, we can begin to see rapid and remarkable results. In this video, we'll explore not just the what, but also the how, guiding you through a specific practice based on Neville's teachings that has the potential to shift your life from the inside out. The technique itself will be revealed later in the video, so stick with me, because this is only the beginning. So let's delve deeper into the 3:33 a.m. mystery, starting with the numerological significance of the number 3. This isn't just a random number that we've assigned meaning to, but rather, it's a concept that has deep roots in various cultures and spiritual systems, carrying with it the energy of creation, expression, and expansion. Think of the concept of the Trinity, how it appears across multiple cultures and belief systems, representing the divine union of different aspects into a single, cohesive whole. From the Holy Trinity in Christianity to the three jewels of Buddhism and the concept of the triple goddess, the number 3 is everywhere, and this is no coincidence. It is a symbol that points to the creative force of the universe, and when you see it repeated as 3:33, that triple repetition amplifies this energy even further, almost like a spiritual dial that turns up the signal, adding a multiplier to its already powerful influence and revealing the potent energy that this specific time carries. This shows us that there is more to this number than we might initially perceive, and that the time itself isn't merely an arbitrary hour, but rather a gateway, a doorway to your own inner creative power, your own God force. Now, let's explore another dimension of this mystery by considering the idea of a liminal space. This is that unique state between waking and sleeping, a brief but potent window of time when the veil between your conscious and subconscious mind thins. 3:33 a.m. often falls right into this liminal space, making it an optimal moment for accessing and influencing your subconscious. The science behind sleep cycles reveals that at this particular time, the brain is often transitioning between different states, making it more receptive to suggestion and change, and that during these shifts in our states of consciousness, the door to our subconscious is more easily opened. It's in this in-between state that the boundaries of what's possible begin to blur and the deeper layers of your mind become more accessible. Think of it this way. Your mind is like a garden, and during the day, the conscious mind is like the gardener, constantly tending to it, but during this liminal space at 3:33 a.m., it's as if the gardener takes a break, allowing the subconscious to be more receptive and allowing the seeds of your intentions to be planted with less interference, creating a clear channel to imprint your desires more deeply. And this, of course, requires that you connect to the feeling of your desire, as this is what allows it to take root, which will be explored in detail shortly. And if you think this is a new idea, consider that various cultures around the world have long recognized the significance of specific times in spiritual practice, with many ancient traditions assigning sacred meanings to numbers and hours. In the esoteric texts, the idea of using specific times for practice is not uncommon, showing that this concept of time having a special influence on one's inner world has been understood for millennia. In many ancient cultures, dawn and dusk are seen as particularly powerful times for prayer and meditation. For example, as these are times of transition, times where the veil between worlds seems to be thinner, showing that this idea of using a specific time isn't something we invented, but rather something that has been practiced for a very long time. The mystical traditions, such as those in the East, often emphasize the power of the early morning hours, referring to them as the ambrosial hours, times of heightened spiritual awareness. The fact that this concept appears in so many cultures and has been explored in so many different traditions reveals that there is something universal about the use of specific times for spiritual practice. Now, I want you to take a moment to think about this on a personal level. Have you ever found yourself waking up at unusual hours, perhaps without even setting an alarm, and feeling a strange, unusual sense of awareness at those times? Have you ever woken up at 3:33 a.m. and felt as though you were somehow more connected, more aware? I want you to think of this as a possible doorway, a time where your intuitive abilities might be heightened, a sign that perhaps there is more to these moments than mere chance. What if your own body and mind were trying to show you that there is a deeper connection available to you, that there is a portal open at these times, waiting to be used? So, with this understanding of the deeper meaning of 3:33 a.m., let's shift our perspective on the potency of the words we speak at this time. I want to emphasize here that these aren't just random words or some kind of magical incantation that is designed to make you worthy of some external gift, but rather, they are powerful declarations of the reality that you are assuming, and that, according to Neville's law of assumption, what you assume and believe to be true will eventually manifest. These aren't prayers of begging or wishes, but rather, they are powerful statements of fact that shape your reality. Think of how language is used in our day-to-day life. If you were to say, "I'm sick," repeatedly, you might start to feel that way, while if you were to declare, "I feel amazing," your body might begin to respond to that inner declaration. This is just a simple example, but the underlying principle is the same. Words are powerful. When used with intention and feeling, they can alter both your inner and outer reality. However, it is not the words themselves, but the power of feeling behind those words that truly makes the difference. It's the emotional resonance that gives them their transformative power, because as Neville taught, feeling is the secret. It's more than just mentally repeating an affirmation. It's about the inner state of being that you embody while you're saying those words. So, if you are simply stating the words, but you feel doubtful or hopeless, the words will not be effective because your feeling and belief is not aligned with your declaration. Now, if you were to say the words with the full conviction and feeling that they are already true, you will notice that they carry a much different power, and it is this embodiment, this living in the end, that allows them to make a lasting impact. For example, if you say, "I am wealthy," but you feel poor, you are still creating from that feeling of poverty. However, if you were to say, "I am wealthy," and feel that abundance in your body, and truly embody that feeling, you are now creating from the state of wealth, and it's this difference that allows for the rapid response. The law of attraction is not just about thinking positively, it's about feeling, and that feeling is the guidance system that powers the entire process. Let's dive into an exercise that will help you further explore your own inner state. I want you to take a moment to close your eyes and consider this. How would you feel if your desired reality was already true? If you already had the abundance that you seek, if you already had the perfect health, if you were already in that loving, peaceful relationship, how would you feel? What emotions would be present? Try to vividly imagine yourself having it, experiencing it fully, not as something you want, but as something you are right now. The feeling of wanting creates a state of lack, while the feeling of having creates a state of abundance, and so it's vital that you focus on that feeling of already being, having, and experiencing what you want. This is the key. You must not focus on getting what you want, but rather, you must embody the feeling of already having it, as this is the true power behind the law of assumption and the path towards the rapid response. Now, with these concepts in mind, consider using phrases like "I am healthy," or "I am wealthy," or "I am abundant," or "I am loved." But understand that these are not just empty words or wishful thinking. You must feel these statements to be your current reality, to be a fundamental truth about who you are right now, not in the future. This isn't about just saying the words out loud. It's about feeling them deep within, allowing them to resonate with your entire being, as if they are the most natural state of who you are. And here, I want to introduce the concept of I am, which will be further explored, because it is key to understanding Neville's teachings on the source of your power. Now, let's turn our attention to Neville Goddard's perspective on the concept of God. And I want to state right away that this isn't about some external entity in the sky, but rather, Neville taught that God is the I am presence within each individual. Your own awareness is, according to Neville, the source of all creation, meaning that your very consciousness is the divine power that shapes your reality. He often referred to this as the I am consciousness, and not as some external entity. As he said, God is your own wonderful human imagination. In other words, the creative power that you seek is not out there somewhere, but it is right here, within you, as the very essence of who you are. And when you begin to connect with this inner source of power, you begin to understand the true potential of manifestation. Your awareness, your consciousness, is your God, and that is a powerful revelation. This understanding shifts the focus of manifestation from appealing to an external force to an act of self-mastery, putting you back in control of your own experience. You are not at the mercy of some higher power, waiting to be chosen or worthy, but rather, you are the power, you are the source, and your ability to manifest is simply the result of understanding your own true nature. What if you were not simply a puppet, but the puppeteer? What if you were not a follower, but the very source itself? By recognizing that you already are the God you seek, you step out of the role of the receiver and step into the role of the creator, fully embracing your own power. You are no longer begging for something outside of yourself. You are simply creating from within, by understanding that the source is always within. Now, let me show you that this is not a new concept, and that similar ideas have been explored in various ancient texts and spiritual traditions for millennia. The Emerald Tablets, for example, speak of the divine spark within each individual, and the Kybalion, an ancient Hermetic text, describes the mind as the creative power of the universe. In many ancient cultures, the idea of an inner, divine force has always been present, which shows that Neville's teachings aren't some New Age invention, but rather are part of a much older, universal spiritual tradition. This concept of the divine within can be found in various forms all throughout history, and in many different cultures, further emphasizing the idea that this isn't a recent discovery, but rather an age-old truth. The fact that this has been explored across many cultures and in many different times gives more credibility to the idea that God is an internal creative force. Now, with all this in mind, I want you to consider the personal implications of this. If you are the creator of your own reality, what does that mean for you? What does that mean for your relationship with yourself and with the world around you? It means that you are not simply a puppet in the world, being swayed by external forces, but that you are the author of your own life, holding the power within to create your own story. It means that the answers that you seek have always been within, waiting to be uncovered, waiting to be revealed. And now you know that that source is your own I am, your own consciousness, and this knowledge will empower you. So now that we understand the significance of 3:33 a.m., the potency of words, and the idea that God is our own inner awareness, let's now explore how we can achieve the rapid response that I mentioned in the beginning. It's important to understand that this rapid response is not a miracle, but rather the logical result of aligning your inner state with your desired outcome. And when your inner world is in sync with your outer world, you will notice how quickly things begin to manifest. It's like a mirror. If you look in the mirror and you're smiling, the mirror will show you a smile. But if you are frowning, the mirror will reflect that frown. In the same way, if you are living from a state of lack, your external world will reflect that lack, while if you are living from a state of abundance, you will notice that your world will begin to mirror that abundance. Therefore, aligning your inner state with your desired reality is the key to achieving fast results. Consistent practice helps to reprogram the subconscious mind, creating new pathways for your thoughts and beliefs. Think of your subconscious mind like a computer that follows the programming it is given, and that repeated actions and beliefs become habits that the computer simply carries out. That means that the negative thoughts and beliefs that you hold onto will continue to run in the background until you make a conscious decision to change them. This is where the repetition of the words comes into play. So, consider this seed analogy. The affirmation or declaration that you repeat is like the seed you plant in the soil of your subconscious. The belief that you hold is like the quality of the soil, and your focus is like the water and the sunshine, while the weeding out of your doubts is like removing the weeds that would prevent the plant from growing to its full potential. And when all these things are working together, your desired reality begins to grow quickly and easily. Let's also briefly touch on some concepts from quantum physics to further explore this idea. Quantum physics has shown us, through the observer effect, that the act of observation can actually influence reality, meaning that when you focus your intention and energy on something, you are creating a real impact on the world around you, because your focused intention is actively shaping the world that you experience. So, when you are focusing your attention on your desires while you're also in the state akin to sleep, at 3:33 a.m., you are actively shaping your reality. But please note that I am presenting this simply and without overcomplicating it, because it isn't necessary to get into the specifics of quantum mechanics for the purpose of this practice. Finally, let's address some common challenges that you might encounter, such as doubt or resistance from your subconscious mind. These are normal, and they are simply a part of the process. Understand that you have most likely been programmed with negative beliefs for most of your life, and so they will not simply disappear overnight, but they can be reprogrammed through consistent practice and intention. Think of those doubts as weeds in your garden. They might try to choke out your progress, but you have the power to pull those weeds out, which is what is meant by weeding out your doubts. Remember that consistency is key, and that the more you practice and embody your desired reality, the more easily it will manifest, showing that these challenges are not obstacles, but rather simply part of the process that will allow you to grow into your full creative potential. So let's bring all of this together and focus on the primary revelation that God isn't some distant, external entity, but rather the very I Am presence within you. Your own consciousness, your own awareness, is the true source of all creation. This means that the power to manifest isn't found outside of yourself, but within your own being, and that the feelings you hold, the emotions that you embody, are the keys to unlocking this power. Because feeling is the secret, as Neville taught. And when you begin to speak from this place of inner knowing, when you declare from the unwavering conviction that your desires are already yours, your reality will naturally begin to reflect this inner state of being. This isn't a quick fix or some sort of magic trick, but a long-term commitment to understanding your own true nature and the creative power that you hold. It's about recognizing that you have everything you need right now to create the life that you desire, and that your true source of power always resides within. Now, let's complete the patterns that we've discussed throughout this journey and see how they all connect. The inner alignment that we've talked about, the subconscious reprogramming that we've explored, and the law of assumption that we've unpacked, all work together in a harmonious dance to make the 3:33 a.m. practice so effective. The state akin to sleep, as we discussed earlier, is the doorway to your subconscious mind, and the repetition of the words, combined with the feeling that they are already true, allows you to imprint those desired realities deep within, which then begin to shape your external world. So the seed analogy is perfect here. The affirmation is the seed, the feeling is the soil, and the weeding out of doubts allows the plant to grow quickly. These aren't just random concepts, but rather, each piece works in tandem with the other, creating a unified system for intentional manifestation. This shows us that each element is equally important, and that they must all be combined for the technique to reach its full potential. And this leads us directly to understanding the mechanism of manifestation. It's not about some divine intervention from an outside source, but rather the alignment of your thoughts and your feelings with the reality you wish to experience. The speed of your manifestation is a direct result of your inner clarity and conviction. The more you believe in what you are declaring, the faster it will materialize, and when there is very little resistance or doubt, that manifestation is often described as rapid, which is why I named this video the way I did. Because when your inner and outer worlds are aligned, the manifestation process is instantaneous. It is not magic or luck, but the result of an aligned mind, working in concert with its desired outcome. So, what does this all mean for you? It means that the power to create your reality rests within your own consciousness, that it's not about just attracting desires, but about shifting your perspective from being at the whim of the world to becoming the master of it. You are the author of your own life. You are the one who writes the script, and it is imperative that you see yourself as the powerful, creative force that you truly are, because it is from this place of power that true transformation begins. Now, let's place this 3:33 a.m. practice within a broader context, and understand that these ideas that we're discussing aren't new, but rather are built upon ancient spiritual and philosophical teachings. The concept of inner awareness and the power of thought has been explored for millennia by mystics, philosophers, and spiritual teachers from a multitude of traditions and cultures. The fact that this has been explored across so many different times and places speaks to the truth of the ideas being presented here, showing that it's not just some recent discovery, but rather a concept that has been known for a very long time. This practice we have discussed is simply a method for accessing your own creative power, and it stands upon these pillars of ancient wisdom. Let's also reinforce the significance of the recurring patterns that we've discussed, such as the importance of repetition, the power of feeling, and the need for inner alignment. The practice itself is only truly effective because it combines all of these key elements, and if even one is missing, the process becomes much less effective. Think of the seed analogy again. Without the seed, there's no plant. Without the soil, the seed cannot take root. Without the water, it will wither, and with weeds, its growth will be stunted. The same principle applies here. All of the elements must be aligned and working in tandem for the practice to yield the most rapid results. Now, let's also look at how this knowledge challenges conventional thinking, especially when it comes to manifestation and spiritual practice. This understanding pushes you to go beyond superficial techniques and to tap into your own creative potential, which means that you must release the idea of seeking answers externally, because the answers you seek are always within you and always have been. This is where the real shift occurs, when you stop looking outside of yourself for the answers and realize that you are the answer. This means that true transformation comes from recognizing the divine power within and moving beyond the limiting beliefs that have held you back for so long. And these limiting beliefs are just old stories that you have been telling yourself that do not serve you and do not represent who you truly are. You are not broken. You are not unworthy. You already have what you seek. You simply must begin to tap into your inherent nature as a powerful, creative being, understanding that you are not a powerless victim, but rather the creative force itself. Now, let's bring this journey full circle and revisit the initial questions we posed at the beginning. We asked, is there a specific time of day that seems to hold more power? And the answer, as we now know, is that 3:33 a.m., with its numerological significance and its link to the liminal state between sleep and waking, provides a unique opportunity to access the subconscious mind. We also asked, why is this practice so effective? And that answer is because it combines the power of specific words, the potency of feeling, and the inner knowledge that God is within, working in tandem to create a powerful and transformative practice. These concepts are now fully understood, and we can move forward from this understanding. Let's also reiterate the patterns and core ideas once more to ensure that everything is fully solidified in your mind. The rapid response, as we've discussed, isn't magic or a divine gift, but rather the natural outcome of aligning your inner world with your desired reality. The seed analogy continues to hold true here. You are planting the seed, caring for the soil, and weeding out the doubts, which allows your desired reality to grow quickly and with ease. The process of inner alignment, the reprogramming of the subconscious, and the utilization of the law of assumption are all key to making this process come to life with speed and power. And finally, let's resolve any outstanding questions about the practice itself. The 3:33 a.m. practice, the potency of your words, the true role of God within you, and how all of these pieces come together to create manifestation. The words are not just empty statements, but powerful declarations of the reality that you are assuming, and it is about feeling these statements as true before you sleep. And the rapid response is what occurs when all of these elements are aligned, when your inner and outer world match, and when you fully believe in your own inherent power and the power of your feelings. And with this understanding, we can now release the tension that has been building throughout this video and transition from a place of mystery to a place of clear understanding. The journey that we've taken is now complete, and the initial tension that was created by the mystery of the title is now released, allowing you to move forward with a sense of calm and a sense of empowerment, ready to take action on what you've learned, equipped with the knowledge that you can indeed create the life of your dreams. Now that you have this knowledge, I want you to ask yourself, what will you create? How will you begin to embody this understanding in your own life, starting today? Because now that you know how powerful your mind and feelings can be, it is time to use them to consciously create what you want, rather than falling into old habits. Consider the implications of this knowledge, and think about how you can apply it to every area of your life. To your relationships, to your career, to your overall well-being. You can create anything as long as you can feel it, and you can feel it because you are the power, you are the source, and you are always creating, regardless of if you are aware of it or not. This is what is meant by living in the end, because you now know you have the power to create what you want, and when you fully embody that reality, you will begin to see that your external world will always respond to your inner world. So, I invite you to comment below and share your commitment to the 3:33 a.m. practice, so that we can all support each other along this journey. And perhaps in a future video, I will collect these experiences and create a compilation of all the incredible transformations that you've all been able to achieve by using this technique. So please be sure to come back and share your story. And finally, as you continue on your path of self-discovery, I would encourage you to continue to explore Neville Goddard's teachings, as well as other metaphysical and spiritual topics, which will all enhance your understanding and ability to create a more fulfilling life. And of course, I'll continue to share these concepts and provide more tools and techniques in future videos. So please be sure to stay tuned for more, because your journey has just begun.